Go.
Okay. Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about character types. So let's start with the basics. What is a character?
People in a book.
Right, people in a book, people in a story, and I know that you've been taught about this a little bit before, so let's run through what you know already. What is known to be the good person in the book? Yes.
The protagonist?
Yes, the protagonist. So actually a common misconception is that the protagonist is always the good person in the book, when really the protagonist is just who the story is about. So, we have the protagonist, and then can we remember who goes against the protagonist?
Antagonist.
Alright, let's see a hand raise next time. Thank you, go. Yep, okay, one more time.
Antagonist.
Antagonist. So, antagonist goes against the protagonist. So the antagonist isn't always evil, they just always have to be going against the protagonist. So, we know those types, but let's keep moving on and see what else we have. Okay. So, common types of characters we see in literature. Keep going, Tim. Okay, perfect. So, we have round characters, flat characters, dynamic characters, and static characters. These are the character types that we are going to be focusing on today. Let's start with round characters. Okay, so round characters have various characteristics or traits. A round character can change or can grow. So, you know those characters that you see in movies where they change drastically throughout the movie? Maybe they start off being like super cynical and evil, and then at the end of the movie, they become, something changes them to make them more positive and happy, and their personality shifts. They grow throughout the movie or the story. Can anyone think of an example of a character like this? Yeah, what do you think?
Maleficent?
Okay, can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Like, in the beginning, she starts off kind and nice, and she's nice to everybody, and then as you move on through the story, she gets mean because of her guy.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So you see her change. Also, that being said, we are able to identify multiple characteristics of this character. So not only is this character able to change, but they have multiple traits. We know her background, right? We know that she got hurt by this guy, and that's why she is the way that she is. We know details about her life, different traits that make her who she is. So that is a round character. When you know different traits about a character and you understand the change that they've went through and understand some of their background. Now let's focus on the next type of character, which is a flat character. So, what a flat character essentially is a character that we do not see multiple sides to this character, right? They're kind of just bystander. We only see them on the surface. We don't see them go through any drastic changes. We don't know their background. We don't know their multiple traits. We only see one side to them, right? So why do you think that they're called flat characters then?
Because they stay flat. They're static. They don't change.
All right, so they stay flat. And what do we know about flat things? Can we see the sides of flat things? No, because it's just flat. Right. Okay. So, let's think. What is an example of a flat character that you could think of?
In Batman versus Superman,
Okay.
the Joker, he didn't change throughout. His motive stayed the same. He wanted to put Batman and Superman against each other. His motive stayed the same. Now Batman and Superman ended up changing throughout the story. They ended up getting evil towards each other, but the Joker stayed the same. He was evil throughout the entire story.
Okay, so I'm glad you said that because it's not exactly where I'm getting at here. So we have the round character where they can change, but that's not the main reason why they're round character. Round character is more like we're able to see them in different lights. We understand their multiple
Batman
traits.
was always the good guy. Batman always came to save the day. Superman always came to save the day, but in the end, they ended up trying to save the day, but ended up hurting each other.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, with flat characters, we only see one of their traits. We don't know their story. We don't know their background.
That's why I said the Joker was.
But we know the Joker's background.
I didn't know that.
Okay, well, a main character like that in a movie or in a story, if they're like a main character, they're not going to be a flat character because we know about their life, we know about their background. We're introduced to different traits of theirs. You see what I'm saying?
You want me to give another example?
Sure.
Okay, you know the movie The Help?
No. Sorry. Let's break it down like something that we all know. SpongeBob. Who do you think could be considered a flat character?
Gary.
Gary, right? Why? Elaborate.
Because we don't know anything about Gary.
We don't know anything about Gary. He's there a lot, but we don't really get to know his story or his multiple sides to him, right? We just see that one trait that he has, which is being SpongeBob's companion friend, pet, right? Nice, cool. Thank you for saying that, though, because that definitely cleared up a lot of maybe confusion about what we're talking about. So, thank you. We're going to move on. And, okay, so, a dynamic character is not only going to be a round character where we see multiple traits of them, but it's dynamic means that they do definitely go through drastic changes within the story. So some examples up here are Scrooge changes from a tight-fisted, greedy, and happy man to one who is generous and loved life. Gru changes from a villain set on destroying the world to a loving father. So not only are they round because we get to see these multiple sides to them, but they're dynamic because they go through that change. Dynamic character, changing characters. Something happens that makes them change. All right, opposed to a, want to keep going? A static character. Perfect, thank you. So static characters are known to be flat characters as well a lot of the time. They just stay the same the entire time, no changing. Think about, if we have any science people here? Yeah, in the back? Cool. So what do we know about static electricity? Is static electricity moving?
No.
No, it's not. So think about static character like non-moving character. The character just stays the same on the surface the whole time. We don't see them go through any change. So what about from Shrek? Who do you think is a character that we see pretty much stay the same the entire time?
The donkey.
The donkey, right? He's just always lovable, happy from beginning to the end, opposed to Shrek, where what happens with Shrek?
He changes throughout the movie.
Yeah, he changes throughout the movie. He goes from, mean ogre, like, get out of my swamp, donkey, to this nice, loving ogre who, is willing to have the donkey be his friend and all that. So, that's the difference. Okay, so we already know protagonist is central to the action of the story and moves against the antagonist, the main character. Keep going. And then antagonist, like we said before. Robert, what did we say before about the antagonist? You said the villain. So who are they going against? Going against the protagonist, exactly. Nice, good job. Okay, so while we're on the topic of Shrek, who would be the protagonist?
Sure.
Shrek, and who's going against Shrek? Remember his name?
Farquaad?
Heather.
Farquaad.
Yeah, Lord Farquaad, right. Okay, nice. Let's keep going. Okay, let's see if you guys can identify what type of character this is.
I probably know why his name is Megamind.
So, Aranta, can you read this out loud for us, the bullets?
His nemesis is Metro Man, the city's big hero and defender. He wants to ruin Metro City and defeat Metro Man. He falls in love with Roxanne. He stops Titan from destroying Metro City. He becomes the new hero of Metro City.
Okay, so we know that Megamind is against who? What's his-
Nemesis.
Metro Man, and the Metro Man is the big hero and defender. So, what do we think that Megamind will be?
A dynamic character.
Okay, so you say You say dynamic, why?
Because in the beginning of it, he wanted to destroy the whole city and destroy the man. But at the end, he ended up saving He ended up saving the city and becoming a hero.
Right, exactly. So he went through that transformation, dynamic change. Yeah, so he's a dynamic character going through that change. And at first, when he is the nemesis of Metro Man, the city's big hero and defender, what would that make him if he's going against the hero or the main? Right. So at first, he's the antagonist going against the protagonist, main character, hero of the story. So we see him go from antagonist, and then he changes to a protagonist. It becomes more about, the story becomes about him, and we see him shift from going against this guy to being with him, right? Being for him. And we see that transformation. What do you think happened in the story that made him shift sides from being evil to good?
Falling in love with Roxanne.
Falling in love with Roxanne, right. So when people go through certain things within the story, certain events, usually it'll be, the climax of the story. Once they get over that or learn from that, then that is where they experience the dynamic character change, right? All right, so now we're going to do some practice. I want you guys to find your favorite movie, and I want you to see who the flat character is, a static character, a dynamic character, and I want you to tell me the protagonist and antagonist of that movie. Sound good? Thumbs up if you're with me? All right, awesome. Good job.